right, hello everybody. Welcome back to the Malbeefance channel. This is episode 3 of our playthrough of Star Wars Rebellion. As you may already know, I'm playing the Empire against the Rebel Alliance. For those of you that may be unfamiliar with the game starts after the destruction of the first Death Star. So basically, the end of the actual first Star Wars movie that was put out on the silver screen. Most people today know it as Episode 4, A New Hope, because that was the title of the Star words scrolling across the screen at the beginning of the movie, all the way back then in 77, 78 when it first came out. So what you do is you play as the Supreme Commander in charge of either the Imperial forces or the Rebel forces. And now this is a real-time game with a real-time combat. You can control the speed, but that's it. There's no turn-based going on here. The rest of the game mechanics, you will pick those up as I go. Okay, so right now we're on day 40 since the start of the campaign, and we've managed to recruit a few folks into the Empire, solidify our position politically in a couple of locations. No major battles yet. It's still basically the beginning of the game.
A manufacturing message has been received. One of our agents is reporting in.
All right, so a new TIE fighter squadron has been completed, the Lang. And a new espionage droid completed at Coruscant. And the diplomatic mission to DeLang has helped increase support there. So now, last episode, my espionage group was able to find out, my intelligence forces found out that we've got a pretty large rebel force massing at Pisana. Already there is 2 escort carriers, 2 Carillion corvettes, which basically work as frigates. They're fighter defense, and then a troop transport. These are the ships that are still on their way there. And now the Enfranchise, which is a converted dreadnought. The rebels have cut it down so that the manpower requirement is a lot less, and so they call it a bulk cruiser. And then this corvette, they've already shown up. So that is a pretty hefty force for my lone dreadnought cruiser. So now, just in case they decide to come early, I will deploy the TIE fighters down onto DeLang. So now I got a total of 4 squadrons defending, with 3 more under construction, but there's only the 1 shipyard. So it is taking them a long time to get these squadrons completed. Now, I could be wrong, and that force is actually going to go after Gamma. But we don't know of any ground troops there, so they can't actually occupy the planet. But I mean, there may be troops there, and I just don't know about it. Alright, so we got 2 droids standing by there. I've got one doing counter-espionage, and that was just... Oh, what happened?
There is a message concerning popular support for the Empire.
Alright. So Lego joins.
One of our agents is reporting in.
And yes, it was definitely a success. Keep at it. Alright, so now, because it's one of the 6 core sectors, the rebels will know that this world has joined the Empire. So first thing I want to do is get some defenses going, and then go ahead and expand their construction facilities. So the more construction facilities you have in the same spot, the um, the faster they can build stuff. And they have no planetary defenses whatsoever. So let me get rid of that extra refinery. Now, I don't know if you caught that, but it went ahead and it reduced my overall maintenance ability. So they usually work in pairs. For every mine and refinery pair that you got, that gives you 50 points of maintenance. Now, they don't have to be in the same system in order to pair up like that. But the reason I went ahead and I got rid of that one extra refinery is because right here, I've only got 2 energy left to build something here, and I need it to be 2 um, planetary shields in order to help protect the planet.
One of our agents is reporting in.
Okay, so the espionage mission to Ganon was successful. And happily, okay, so they were able to get additional information on Pisana. So where the other team, unfortunately, was preempted, the other team was able to help them out. So we've got one shipyard building a squadron of X-Wings. There is their industrial capability. Nobody on the planet. Okay, so the squadron's going to deploy here, and then there's a squadron of X-Wings. So what have we learned here? So there's 2 regiments on the troop transport. We didn't see those earlier. And there's another 2 on the Hawk, so there's a total of 4. Is it 2? Yes, it's 2. Corellian Corvette. So, yeah, 4 squadrons of fighters on Escort Carrier 3, 6 squadrons on Escort Carrier 4. Oh, yeah, that's more than enough to take on my defenders at Dalang. So now the Agile will be there on turn 55, and I have a sneaking suspicion they are not going to. So I am going to do the smart move, and I am going to be like brave Sir Robin from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. And I am going to bravely run away. So now Delang's got those 3 shields there, and that the rebels may know about it, and that's why Chewbacca and all these infiltrators are on their way to Manaan, so they can run missions to try and blow up the shield generators, so that the rebel troops can land here. So I'll let Jajirad, or sorry, that's Piet. I will let him go ahead and run one more diplomatic mission, and then I'll get him and Koval out of there for their own safety.
There is a message from Lord Vader. A manufacturing message has been received.
That Imperial Army regiment couldn't have shown up any better sooner. And so we got another commando unit on Esselis, and that last droid.
I have succeeded.
You stop. He's recruiting all of the special forces people. I need him to recruit diplomats.
As you wish.
Doofus. All right, so let him run counter espionage, because Nubia is painfully undefended. all of this stuff completed. So the training facility, construction. I need shield generators on Coruscant. So I hate doing this because it cuts down on my maintenance capability, but I need to make room to defend the planet from invasion. All right, so we'll run espionage on Sasubo. All right, so they're on the surface. They made it through security, and they're on the surface, and hopefully they'll get their target, that Y-Wing squadron. Know the invasion's coming, so let's just go ahead and try and get our defenses up as much as possible. Now, Bunta doesn't have any room for anything more either.
One of our agents is reporting in.
All right, so they were able to do it. They were able to blow up the Y. Oh no, they didn't. So the mission is complete, but they didn't destroy the target. Nuts. All right, I'll wait for them to get back. Does Osis? Nope, Osis doesn't have any defenses. So let's start there. I know I'm leaving Bunta exposed, but nothing I can do about it. All right, so when do they get back? 52. All right, that's not bad. Send 2 down there instead of just the 1. Now, sending one of those units, because this is not a character, so they don't, their skills don't improve, and they can't be captured, but they can be destroyed. But Imperial Commandos, the espionage droids, probe droid, all of these pieces and their rebel equivalents, their skill level in doing it, whatever it is they do, is only 50. So if I send 1 or I send 4, they've only got a 50-50 chance of success. But the more of them I send, the better the chance they get past security and actually get onto the planet to be able to try and carry out their mission. And there we go.
There is a message from an Imperial fleet indicating it has reached its destination.
Oh, thank you. All right. So now that Fleet 2 has shown up, I'm going to rename the force and I could, okay, well, Griff's already on Arrocation, so that's all right. So Veers, he can go ahead and he can do training missions. Now, are we full up? No, we're not. Well, that's okay. Right now, they're just going to play defensive, so deploy. Having the TIE fighters on the ships means that they have to deploy out of the ship and then into battle. Okay? Whereas if I have them on the planet, if a enemy force shows up in the system around Coruscant, the TIE fighters will already be deployed onto the battle map. So now with Rebel fighters, because they have hyperspace capability, they can arrive in system already deployed for battle. They don't have to launch first. The same thing would be true if they're assigned to a ship. that is in orbit around a planet defending, the fighters would automatically be deployed at the start of the battle. So they wouldn't be delayed doing that. But now that I've got 2 Star Destroyers here, that just made any assault on Coruscant a whole lot harder for the rebels. And I've got, what do we got? 9, 12, 15, 18, 19 fighter squadrons.
You have not adequately supported me on this mission, and it has failed.
He is having a rough time on it.
One of our agents is reporting in.
Alright, so Simit and Pisana again. Let's have a look at this. Okay, so the 2 Corvettes are gone. Let's see if we got any updates down here. Now, one of the things that I've noticed in all of my time playing this game is that, where was it? Okay, so here's Corellian Corvette number 15. All right, now, the computer will sometimes rename these, and it will actually rename their ships and not leave them with the generic names. Okay, sometimes they'll do it. So for all I know, Agile and Zephyrus, they could have been the 2 Corellian Corvettes that were around Mirth at the beginning of the game. So it's just one of the things that can wind up confusing you or catching you by surprise if you didn't know it. Because I'm like, okay, so where'd those other 2 Corellian Corvettes go? I was like, no, the computer renamed them.
One of our agents is reporting in.
Okay, so my espionage mission for Subo was not successful.
There is a message from one of your field personnel.
She's back on Gamma. Ego has increased again. And they have arrived. Alright, so I want them to run counter-espionage. Oh, excuse me. So Makeb is the only planet down here that I haven't ran espionage on. And once they're done, I can either start over again or get them out of there for their own sake. So, all right, so they encountered a fleet. Look at all those transports. Oof. And Franchise is on the way. Reliant is there. Carrier 4 and Eurus. All right, so compared to my 2 Star Destroyers, that is a small force. So let me go ahead and mess with them. So that way you get a chance to see what the combat screen looks like. All right, so confirm move, 3 days. So they'll get there on 52. My droids, okay, so I only lost the 1 droid. Okay, that's good.
There is a message from an Imperial fleet
right
indicating it
on
has reached
time.
its destination. One of our agents is reporting in.
Way to go, Nita. I was worried about stripping Coruscant of its defenses. Okay, counter-espionage mission. Successful. Do we have it? Nope. If the rebels were running any kind of espionage or infiltration, any kind of mission like that, it'd be listed here. So nothing going on there. Now I could send these guys on a sabotage mission to try and blow up one of these ships, but there are not enough of them. They need backup. Infiltrating the ships is a lot more difficult than getting onto the planet. So I don't want to get them too far away. And it doesn't look like the Alliance is doing anything with either of these planets. It looks like they're going to focus more on the inner rim. But still. And I don't like the limited uh, control I have over these planets. It's a tempting target. Alright, so let me just do a save just in case. One of the big areas where the game would crash now that it's as old as it is when you have a battle encounter. So let me go ahead and save it here in case the game crashes. Because the fleet's going to show up next turn. And there we go. All right, so what do we got? Haste carrying 2 regiments, Eagle 2, medium transport 8 and 9 2. Yep, that's the force that was going to make a try for Coruscant, possibly Essalus. They got the Reliant and they got the Urus. That's all they've got. That is not enough against 2 Star Destroyers with full complement of TIE fighters. Down on the planet, there's 1 more regiment. Now, I anticipate the Alliance is going to run. They can't stand against this. So here you see the Rebel
fleet. The fleet is ready, Admiral. We await your orders.
And my fleet shows up. Let me zoom the camera out a little bit. So there you go. So here's my force, my 2 Star Destroyers, and my Carrack class cruiser. Now they've already been set up in task force, but you can change that. I'll show you how real quick. And here are the icons for my fighter groups. Okay, but they've got to deploy. So it's going to take them a little bit of time to get into the fighting. So that's where the characters come in. Okay, so over here on the Arracation, I've got Griff assigned as Admiral. So the ships will be able to respond a little bit quicker because he is there to direct them. But the fighters are going to be slow as molasses because I don't have a commander assigned to help with that. Now, while you're in the battle screen, the strategic screen is paused. So you don't have to worry about that happening in the background. Okay. All right, so the first thing I want to do is get the fighters assigned. Now I need to zoom in a little bit, and I got to play with the camera angle so that I've got all of the rebel ships. Let me highlight them, make it a little easier for me to see them, because what I got to do is I got to target. So the fighters, I've just told them to surround, and I'll have them attack.
Blue group acknowledges engaging targets.
I'll have them attack the Reliant, which is the heaviest ship in the group. I could go after the transports, and actually that is probably a better idea.
Blue group acknowledges engaging targets.
Especially seeing as how this one is off to the side. Now they're not going to stay like that.
Red group acknowledges
they can maneuver to help cover one another. But I already know.
Task Force 2 acknowledges engaging targets.
So I'm just going to send the Thunderbolt straight in. Same thing with the Aurora and the Arracation. I'm just going to
Task Force 1 acknowledges engaging targets.
Have them attempt to attack that transport. They're not going to get it. All Rebel fleet's going to retreat immediately. So now unpause it. So yeah, there they go. They're turning to jump out of system immediately. So this is why research and development into starships is so important, because I need to get the interdictor cruiser in order to prevent this from happening. So now I can zoom in, select the target to zoom in on. So you can do that, but I want to zoom out a little bit so you can see the whole group jumping. So no shooting happened, no
The
fire
rebel
was
fleet is
exchanged.
withdrawing. The Empire is victorious.
So now the rebel forces, they go ahead and they retreat, and they're going to retreat to the nearest friendly star system, which is going to be Brintal. Okay. Now I could go ahead and I could chase them all over the place if I wanted to, and actually that's not a bad idea. So the fighters recover automatically. So now the thing is, though, if I go to Brental and harass them there, they'll come back to Sasubo, and then they'll link up with the ships that are still on their way. So let me just go back to Coruscant, and we'll link up with the Thunder Child, and that way I'll have both an admiral and a commander, because I can go ahead and I can reassign either Griff or Nita to go ahead and do that, and that'll help the fighters deploy a little bit faster. All right, so I got my probe droid back. Send him back out again. Check and see what we got at Concord Dawn. It's possible to find inhabited planets out here that have got factories or resources already going on, mines, refineries, whatever, and they'll be neutral. So obviously you can go ahead and you can get your diplomats out there to help them join, or just straight up invade them. I mean, if you want to go full empire. Okay, so let me go ahead and I'll move them to Coruscant. And I'll go ahead and I'll use them. If I can figure out where they've got some more ships, I'll see if I can't get those guys in to blow them up. Or actually, what I'll have them do first off is go ahead and get that army unit. Now, I could have done a ground bombardment to take him out. The problem is that softer targets like the refineries and the mines, they could wind up being damaged, and that would affect my diplomatic position on all these planets. I'll go ahead and I'll show you that next time.
A manufacturing message has been received.
Alright, so we got another TIE Fighter squadron at the land.
One of our agents is reporting in.
Alright, and the counter-espionage on Coruscant was successful. Just not soon enough to stop that other mission. But that other rebel mission, it was do I want to go back to? No, we didn't finish. So let's see what else we might encounter. Since we know those ships are on the way, let's do that. So that way there's more decoys than there are folks that are actually trying to carry out the mission. May improve my chances of getting past security.
A manufacturing message has been received.
So our first fighter squadron at Lego.
One of our agents
I know
reporting
that's an
in.
I and not an L, but I have a hard time pronouncing the correct name. All right, so Jerjerrod is just knocking it out over here. Yeah, one more and he's done. Go ahead and send him someplace else. Get more of this sector on the side. So Tund and Saliukami high up on the priority list. So I don't know the two troop training facilities. We really start rocking out some defensive troops. And I've already got. So we're going to have a second construction there. I'm going to try and move the shipyard over to Oasis because they've got more room power-wise. They got more power available. So I'll try and make Diego my construction site. I'll have Bunta back them up as long as possible. So we'll move the shipyards to Oasis, and we'll have a ton training. I'm gonna have to get rid of some of the mining facilities though, so I can set up a couple of shield generators.
There is a message from the Emperor.
You have not totally
There is a
supported
message
me
from
on
an
this
Imperial
mission,
fleet
and
indicating
it
it has
has
reached its
failed.
destination.
Old man, you're batting 1,000.
One of our agents is reporting in.
He's killing me. I really ought to go ahead. Yeah, let me go ahead and get these guys out of here. Now, do I want him to come all the way back? No. Piet can help with the diplomatic problems I've got over in this sector. And it's going to take him a moment to get there, though, but oh well.
There is a message from Lord Vader.
Has failed. As you wish.
I'm just not having a good time with that. I'm not having a lot of success. Alright, so I want to move Nita off of the Thunderchild. We'll put him on the Aurora. Now, let me check something real quick. So his leadership is 94, while Griff is 83. So Griff, oh, he can't be a commander. Okay, so he's going to have to stay admiral. And I'm going to have to make Nita the commander. All right, well, there we go. When is Ozzel going to show up? 97. Not for another 40 days. Okay, my lone Imperial espionage droid. He's actually been doing good. He's able to get Denogra and Cymirth. Alright, so let's go ahead and do it again. See if there's been any changes.
One of our agents is reporting in.
Alright, so he should be done there by now. Researcher Carson is making progress. So now each time your R&D makes progress in their mission, it puts a random number of points towards the advancement, the next advancement. Now I can't pick what it is they're going to succeed in figuring out. It's a progression. It's already scripted. So, like, I think with troop research, the next advancement is going to be war droids. And the war droids are great for attacking, for offensive operations, but they're not good for defense, and they don't work security all that great. But they're cheap, and they make great offensive units.
A manufacturing message has been received.
All right, so now we got 3 there. Let's see if I can get them to blow up that regiment. I couldn't remember where I sent the espionage droids.
A manufacturing message has been received.
It's not trained because that means they completed that last commando unit. So I have them send directly to Coruscant. And I'm going to make some more espionage droids. Replace the one that I lost. And create another 4 droid team.
One of our agents is reporting in.
Alright, so Nubia is safe for the moment. I'm just going to, because he's only one guy and I don't want to lose him. So I'm just going to go ahead and have him do counter espionage until he gets some backup.
There is a message from the Emperor.
You have not adequately supported me on this mission, and it has failed.
I mean, if I didn't know any better, I would guess that the rebels are running a insurgency mission at the same time the Emperor is running a diplomatic mission. I may have to check
A manufacturing message has been received. One of our agents is reporting in.
So yeah, so our commandos were able to destroy that regiment that was on Sisbo. And Alliance Escort Carrier 4 does not show up until day 87. Alright, so as soon as I got some espionage droids available, I got to run a counter-espionage mission on Essilus.
A manufacturing message has been received.
Alright, so we've got 5 squadrons down there now. Still not enough against that force they were putting together in Pasana. And Lego's got 2. Better than nothing. But yeah, I mean, this is the early part of the game. Okay, you got a turtle. You got to build up your defenses.
A manufacturing message has been received.
Okay, so when do those guys get back? 69. He's showing up on 72. When are they getting back? I forgot. 69. Okay, that's tomorrow. All right.
A manufacturing message has been received.
All right, so there's a second Army unit on Delang, one on Coruscant. Okay, so we got our first shield generator of Coruscant. And that's an old message. All right, since I got them doing the espionage droids, believe it or not, the Imperial Army regiments are a little bit better at security than the stormtrooper units. I mean, the stormtroopers are good all around units. Okay, um, they're not specialists at any one thing, but they are good at whatever it is they do, whether it's attack, defense, or security. And so now that those guys are back, I have a plan for Sasubo. Going to try and clear out as much of their industry as possible. So 14 is the most energy that any planet's going to generate in the game. Okay, so what I was thinking of doing is I'll go ahead and either have a major shipyard at Essalus or have one at
A manufacturing message has been received.
Okay, so reconnaissance on.
One of our agents is reporting in.
Is empty. Alright, so let's get the other shield generator up there. So ultimately what I'm doing here is basically a roundabout where I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use the construction capabilities at Diego to go ahead and get their defenses up once they've got another construction. So what I can do is they'll finish that one. Bunta will finish the one that they're sending to Osis, and then both of them will put shields around Diego. So, and then I can go ahead and I can use the two construction facilities here on Bunta to go ahead and start getting shipyards around Osis. And Diego also helped with that. All right. So that's going to do it for this episode. Hopefully, you folks are having an interest in this. Let me know. Please drop a comment. Let me know whether or not you're enjoying this. I know there's a couple of Star Wars fans out there. I know there's one or two people that are interested in this. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to run this concurrent with the other Strategic Command World War II War in the Pacific. So they'll both be coming out. If you've made it this far, as always, please leave a like, drop a comment. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell for alerts when I put something new up. And thanks again, and I will see you on the next one.